Welcome back to the David Pakman Show. I am Benjamin Dixon, filling in for David while he's away. I'll be with you for the rest of the week. So I'm stuck in this next story. I feel a little bit of ambivalence around because I don't think it's worthwhile. I personally don't think it's a worthwhile endeavor to engage with Trump voters and people, the MAGA movement, because they have demonstrated to me and to most of the world that they have zero intention of engaging genuinely. They have every intention of being disingenuous in their engagement. But this story would seem to prove me wrong, at least in this case. So here's a little bit of anecdotal evidence that maybe your time trying to convince a Trump troll is worth your while. A former Trump troll gives a passionate apology to former President Barack Obama. He did so in a series of tweets on Twitter, and I want to read them to you now, and then we'll let you decide for yourself. This is what he said, quote, "Mr. Barack Obama, I apologize for all of the nasty things I've said to you or about you. Thinking you were here to divide and destroy America from the inside. I have learned so much in these past several months. My world has flipped upside down. I was a part of the group who," the next tweet says, "I was a part of the group who thought you were a Muslim, who thought you were born in another country. I was ignorant to truly do research. Truly do research about you that I did not make a proper informed decision. I trusted propaganda and thought you were the enemy of America. I thought you, Barack Obama, wanted to take all guns. I allowed anger and hatred towards you, sir, to cloud my judgment from reality and was noted in my columns that I have written in the past. I ignored your accomplishments, your love for soldiers, and said mean things. I know you are not perfect, Barack Obama. Every president has made their mistakes, but at Barack Obama, you are not the person conservative media says you were. You cared about all Americans and tried to unite us. You tried getting people to see different points of view. You cared about safety and tried your best to fight gun violence. You did care for military and veterans and our country, which I have later found out. Again, I am truly sorry for my hate towards you, Barack Obama. You are a decent human being and a good president." So what do you think about that? Do you think that's a genuine apology, or do you think it's an attention grab? A lot of people in the replies to this tweet said the dude is really just trying to promote his blog and get media attention like he's getting. But is it a worthwhile endeavor to try to invest time into people who have made it clear? In most cases, in the majority of cases, they've made it clear that they have no intention in engaging in good faith, that they're simply there to undermine your trust in your belief system and to try to give the appearance. I mean, trolls are literally paid to give the appearance as though there is a massive amount of people who disagree with your viewpoint. And when your viewpoint is based on science, let's say like global warming and climate change, you know, when you have people who are paid money to sit in chat rooms. God, I just aged myself. Nobody's in chat rooms anymore. To sit on social media and to relentlessly over and over and over again make sure that they can cast doubt in your minds. I mean, this is literally the psyop style strategy of trolls on the internet, right? Very few times are you engaging with people who have that level of intensity that they're just going to fight it out to the very end. In a lot of cases, you're dealing with paid trolls or people who have intentionally decided, whether they're paid or not, to operate in that capacity. And so it's hard to take this example and believe that it's really even worthwhile spending time investing, trying to convince these people when they have demonstrated that they have every intention of ignoring reality, rewriting history, and just essentially trolling. Now, I want to give a little bit more context for this guy. I don't even know if I mentioned his name. What's his name? David Weissman. He wrote an article. So we'll plug the article because I think it's important to share how this transformation happened. And this is what he said in his article. He said, quote, "Then came the moment that changed my life in politics and social media. I accused Sarah Silverman, the actress, and liberals as a whole, since conservative pundits and media do this, of caring more about illegals than American veterans. To my surprise, Sarah Silverman replied, and the resulting dialogue was respectful. Months went by and we interacted more on Twitter on issues like gun reform, DACA, and abortion. Not only did I learn from her, but I learned from her followers who showed me why they fight for these fights. I discovered sources with journalistic integrity which debunked the lies and generalizations that conservative media often report. I slowly began reevaluating my principles. Pause. All of that sounds good, Dave. What's your name? David Weissman. All of that sounds good, but it took you getting a response from a Hollywood star, which means you were so shocked, like, oh my gosh, Sarah Silverman is talking to me. Of course, you're going to take a minute and be like, well, what does she have to say? What does she have to say? So, I mean, are we saying here that because people have been telling you this all along, David, that your politics are wrong. People have been trying to show you sources of journalistic integrity for a while. I guarantee you this is not the first time people have approached you. And so are we saying that the catalyst for change is for someone to be able to interact with a television star? Or whatever, I don't even know. I can't even remember exactly what Sarah Silverman starred in, but that's besides the point. Is that the magic sauce? Because if that's the case, we might as well forget it and just keep pressing on the way we're pressing, because not everybody is going to take the time to interact with someone who's admittedly a troll. But I digress. Let me not give this guy such a hard time. This next paragraph from his article, I think, is actually worthwhile. This is what he said. During the process, a few high-profile Twitter Trump supporters saw me communicating with, as opposed to bashing, Silverman and other liberals like Andy Lassner and Chelsea Clinton. The Trump train mob turned their vileness towards me just for talking respectfully to those they thought as an enemy. I, a U.S. Army war veteran of 13 years, was being called a traitor to the country. I never realized how hateful this group was until I became the subject of their abuse, which doesn't make me feel very good. From then on, my eyes were open to the kind of person Trump was, an amoral bully. I would say immoral. I really was looking for the word immoral there, but an amoral bully like his base that supported and elected him. Well, if nothing else, that paragraph is worth it all, because that's going to be the absolute case. The moment you show any independent thought from conservatism, the conservative mob will jump on you like flies on you know what.